Well, welcome to Unit 8, Owning and Operating a Vehicle. This unit's a little bit different than all the rest in the sense that this is going to be the only video and I'm not actually going to walk you through any questions. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what we're doing this unit. So this is basically an independent study unit where you're going to do internet research and give your opinion to find the answers to a whole bunch of things related to owning and operating a vehicle. Now, part of the reason we're doing this is because I want you in the last unit to be able to work on your own pace a little bit so that if you've got work from other units to get caught up on, you can kind of finish this up quick and then work on that. If you're all caught up, you can kind of take it a little bit easier, maybe go a little bit slower. Um, but it should be relatively relaxing. And I will mention that for most of this, you can make it as real to your life or as fictitious as you wish. So we're going to do a lot about looking at vehicles. And if you want to choose vehicles that are things you're actually looking at possibly purchasing, used cars, etc., you're more than welcome to do that. If you'd rather look at Lamborghinis and Ferraris, you can do that as well. The best way to kind of approach this is try and be as realistic to your life as you want to so that you gain information that you actually do want to know, not just for the course, but for you. So I'm just going to quickly walk over basically what you're going to be working on this unit. And it's broken down into 7 lessons, and you're going to complete pretty much one of those lessons each day. Now, I should point out, if you want to do 2 lessons in a day, or if you happen to be sick or something, you can get caught up later, but the pace is set up to do essentially 1 lesson a day. So there is basically a cover sheet to this with a few questions on it, asking you some opinions, etc. Just try those. It's short and sweet. And then we get to lesson 8.1, which is getting your driver's license. Now, some of you may already have your driver's licenses. If you do, um, you still have to complete this, unfortunately, because even though you have a driver's license, it doesn't get you out of the curriculum expectations for this course. But you should be able to go through it relatively quickly and easily. Now, there is no quiz at the end of this, or at least I shouldn't say that. There's going to be a quiz, but it's going to be fairly short and sweet. Most of this quiz is going to be based, or most of the unit mark is going to be based on handing in this booklet and basically showing me what you've done. So make sure that you are actually filling in the questions. Leaving questions blank is the surest way to lose marks on this. So this is going to walk you through a little bit. It gives you a website to go to there to find this information. Most of the parts on here do give you a specific website to go to help you find the information quickly and easily. But this is going to walk you through some of the details and ask you to find some information about getting your driver's license. A little bit there on driving schools. For those of you who aren't aware, going to a driving school, while it does cost money, is a great way to learn how to drive, and it also does save you money on your insurance in the long run. So a good option to consider. Lesson 2 is on irresponsible driving. So this is basically talking about things that can get you to lose your license or things that might end up costing you a little bit more down the road when it comes to things like insurance. So I'll get you to go through that. 8.3 is comparing cars. So here you're going to choose 3 cars, whichever ones you like, and find some information about them. Now it does give you some possible makes and models there. You can choose whatever ones you like, but again, try to make them realistic for your life, or if you want to do 2 realistic ones and 1 fun one, do it however you want. I don't care which 3 cars you pick, as long as you fill in the information for those 3 cars. I will say that if you're looking at super exclusive high-end cars, often those are done through a completely different selling process than regular cars. They're not sold at dealerships. They're kind of sold custom made, and you may not find information on them. So if you're looking to buy a Bugatti as one of these, you may not find the information you're required to find. Lesson 4 is about leasing versus buying. So it talks a little bit about what those are and the differences between them, the advantages and disadvantages. Similarly, 8.5 is going to get you to look at buying new versus used, pros and cons of both of those. 8.6, you get to take a look at car insurance and figure out a little bit about your rates, and you can actually try doing this. And then in 7, there's going to be just a little wee bit of math here, but most of it's common sense math, just getting you to take a look at the cost of driving. So most people talk about, well, it's going to cost me this much in gas to drive here, And they don't take into account the other costs that are involved, because you do have to do things like pay for the car, which is going to need repairs. You're going to have to replace parts on that car, and that kind of has to be factored into how much it costs to drive per kilometer. Things like oil changes, new tires. A set of new tires can cost you over $1,000 easily. So, I mean, those are all things that you have to factor into how much it costs you to actually drive. You can't just pretend it's just gas, and that's it. So this is going to walk you through a few things like costs of licensing. Um, Now, I will be honest on this one. This one, I believe, just changed. Um, they just changed how sticker fees work for cars. They've got rid of part of that. So when you get to that part, it should tell you that it is no longer a fee, and that's fine. Walk you through gas prices, maintenance costs. Now, maintenance costs are very hard to calculate exactly how much you're going to need and spend because different parts of different cars can break down. Replacing a spark plug versus replacing an engine, obviously very different costs, but you have to make some approximations on how much you're going to spend on maintenance over the long run of a vehicle. So that's essentially Unit 8. Work your way through it again. Try to do about one lesson a day. If you can get done more than that, fantastic. The faster or the sooner you're done, the sooner you're done, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. If you do need any assistance with any of the particular parts, I'd be happy to come and help you out. I think I've mentioned this before in the course, but part of the reason I leave some of these questions a little bit more vague is because they're based on rules that keep changing year over year. So things like, for instance, the license plate sticker fee just changed from, I forget what it was at, $160 a year to zero. But that may have increased other costs in other places. So because things change, I wanted to leave things fairly vague. I mean, just looking at that last question there, part D, how much would it cost for 1 month of gas? That obviously has changed over the last few months. Gas prices have changed significantly. So I want you to make this as real as possible with up-to-date information. And even then, that information could change over the next several years. So when you get a chance, well, when you get a chance, as in now, try to do as much of this as possible, as quickly as possible. And when you're done, submit this booklet, and that's going to be a big part of the unit. If you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, good luck.